How are the wealthiest people in the world basically hiding and protecting and making their assets invisible?
She owns a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, 2 businesses, some real estate. Well, we took that all out of her name and protected it, made it invisible. So now on paper, she's poor. And for people watching, 95% of LLCs will be sued during the life of that LLC. Rockefeller maintains wealth and makes his family, his grandchildren, and everybody after him wealthy. They become their own bank and they use it to do it.
All right, Gene, how are the wealthiest people in the world basically hiding and protecting and making their assets invisible?
They're using the strategies that they don't tell anybody about. And they're secret because they're making their money invisible. So they're using trusts to own their businesses, their houses, their bank accounts, because with a trust, you can't tell who the true owner is. It only has the trustee's name or information up there to shield you, to shield the true owner. So if you can't get to the owner, if your name's on it, it's a target. But if they don't know who owns it, they can't take it.
Yeah. So you hear a lot about trust, and there's like a million different things. There's revocable, irrevocable, there's land, there's living, there's like a million different things. Mm-hmm. Walk me through how you know which one you need and who actually needs a trust at the end of the day.
Great question. I would say anybody that owns a house, a business owner, entrepreneur, planning for your kids' financial future, if you're looking towards retirement, or even if you're a doctor, right? Professional. I've got a student, client, and friend. His wife got in a little fender bender, and she was being deposed. And I didn't know this until I was talking to him, interviewing him in front of some of my other clients. And she was being deposed, and the lawyer says, Mrs. McLeod, you and Dr. Joel don't own anything. Can you tell me about that? And her answer was, we don't. We're poor. Mm-hmm. The whole time, I mean, he's a doctor. He has several investment properties. So the thing is, anybody that has anything that they want to pass down to a loved one should absolutely have a trust. Because if you don't, then the government says to themselves with probate court that we weren't responsible in life to plan our own estate. So the government has a plan for us. Okay, so if we don't have an estate plan, we do. We just don't know what it is because the government is planning it for us.
Yeah.
Now, I say there's layers. It's structure. There is no one-size-fits-all trust for everybody, like irrevocable, land trust, all this stuff. It's about structure. Just a stack of paperwork isn't going to protect you or even probably do what you want.
Right.
So I want to keep control. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a control freak. So I use revocable trusts. So that way I can make changes, additions, take things out because it's revocable. But there's asset protection in there when the proper strategies are used.
So irrevocable means you can't change it.
Essentially, you can't. Yeah. Or you've put somebody else in control, and like attorneys or an advisor, a trust advisor or a trust protector.
Yeah.
And so it will cost you essentially tens of thousands of dollars to even get them to move if that's what you want, right? So unless you know kind of every intricacy and every twist and turn down the road for generations and have thought that out, and you're worth over $5 million, I don't think you should have an irrevocable trust. They cost too much to manage year after year with the taxes and everything, and then they cost a lot to set up.
Like how much, just for the viewers to know?
Starting at $20,000 minimum. Like,
okay.
Yeah,
set up?
Yeah, irrevocable. Absolutely.
How much a year to manage?
Starting at about $10,000. You have to, your accountant has to have, that specialty knowledge to be able to file the taxes properly.
Why would at $5 million it make sense to go irrevocable versus revocable?
Well, at $5 million, your money and your assets are starting to produce money for you rather than you having to take time and energy. At that point, it's at a low level, but if you're considering an irrevocable, I feel like you should at least be at that because you can afford it.
But I get that you could afford it, but what's the benefit of having an irrevocable versus a revocable?
I personally, the only benefit to me, in my opinion, and I'm not an attorney, but I have embedded team attorneys that review and produce our paperwork. They just utilize our strategies. But I personally think the only irrevocable trusts that carry a huge benefit for the masses are Medicaid asset protection trusts and then veterans asset protection trusts. That's it. Okay. Other than that, you can use revocable trust like we have for our over 1,000 clients to get the same asset protection. However, you maintain control, and they're a lot easier to manage and understand at the end of the day.
And cheaper to get set up, it sounds like.
Yeah, much lower investment to get set up. It's much more affordable for the regular people that kind of need it the most.
How much is it? How much cheaper is it?
It's about 10 times cheaper, I would say, to set up than irrevocable trust.
So like $2K to set up a trust?
Yeah, $2K, depending on what you have. So I tell our clients they should segregate and separate their assets, right? And that's because with a lawsuit, if somebody's trying to sue you and take what you own, if you have your assets, it's like you're having all your eggs in one basket. That old saying, if you drop that basket, all those eggs are going to break. But if they're in separate baskets, one that you dropped, it can't infect or affect the other baskets.
Yeah.
So
I've heard a lot of people ask this question to us. You know, I own 10 rental properties. Do I need to have 10 different LLCs or 10 different trusts on every single one to protect myself? What's your response?
I would say 10 different land trusts. But let me give you the difference here, because it sounds like 10 different LLCs for those properties. It seems like that's a lot to you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot of paperwork.
that's a lot of filings with your tax guy,
returns,
your returns, setting up the
Yearly
renewals.
annuals, yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I agree with you on the LLC part, right? Because you're registered with the state government. So you do have that registration, those fees for the LLCs. You've got different bank accounts for that, commingling funds.
Having 100 bank accounts.
Yeah.
doesn't seem fun.
No.
Right. This is why I love land trusts. Because yes, I say you need a separate land trust for each of those. However, with that, you sign a management agreement, so you get to run those and you have privacy and protection. No liability because you're just the manager of the land trust asset, okay? So you're protecting yourself, but here's the thing. You don't have to file annually. There's no meeting minutes. There's no registration fees for a land trust annually that you're paying. In addition to that, we say separate your money. Have a personal property trust that owns your bank account. Now, all of your money from those 10 properties flows to the one bank account. There is no commingling with a trust bank account. So it's a lot different with the paperwork, the day-to-day management, and just the hassle, really.
So you basically pay, would you have to pay $2,000 per land trust, something like that?
About $1,000 per land trust.
But there's no yearly maintenance and all the things.
No. There's a contractual. We have you set it up with somebody else as your trustee.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the name that's going to be on public record is the trustee.
Yeah.
But we use an initial strategy. So we just put their first and middle initial and then last name. And as trustee for the Las Vegas Community Preservation Trust. So now it's hard to even sue that one land trust because you don't know the trustee's name. All right. But in the contract, it's $100 to the trustee. That just makes the contract enforceable.
Right.
Because there's consideration.
It's like an earnest money deposit.
Yeah, $100. Right. Exactly. And then you only need that trustee 2 times.
Yeah.
When you take the asset into the trust, and then if you're going to sell it.
Yeah.
That's it. Other than that, that management agreement allows you to run it as if you own it.
Is the whole point of doing this, it doesn't sound like tax-wise it really does much. It's just clearly to just protect myself from getting sued.
Right. See, what a lot of gurus and attorneys don't tell people on the internet, because people think that a trust has a higher tax classification, like 37%. And a trust does. But these types of trusts are disregarded entities, just like LLCs.
They just flow into your personal.
Exactly. Yep. So you're paying the same tax rate, and then whatever tax strategies you use at the end of the day to mitigate that, you can use those same strategies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this episode, but how would you like to be the one that I'm interviewing on this show? I'm looking for entrepreneurs who've got a great message to share, who have an inspiring story, and who can add value to the audience. So submit by going to wealthyway.com. So with an entrepreneur like myself, who's got real estate and assets and other things, where do you typically see guys like me the most exposed?
So let me ask you this. How are you protecting it now?
I have trust.
You have trust. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say most of your colleagues or contemporaries have trust?
No.
Okay.
My co-host does.
Oh, damn. Okay. Call me out, bro.
I told him to get one like 2 months ago.
Yeah. He wouldn't listen. Right. Well,
I don't understand, like, what is the purpose of having a trust?
Okay. So here's the thing with that. you guys have a colleague upstairs in this building that he owns a business and he had a client that got sued, right? And that client that got sued, your guys' colleague was doing work for him on that lawsuit situation that drug him into the lawsuit. Now, what most people don't understand that have a business, there's something called piercing the corporate veil, okay? So if you sign a document with just your name, but you're acting for the business, you're signing a lease, a purchase and sale agreement, anything like that, you've just now made the LLC and you one. They can pierce the corporate veil, and now your home, your car, your bank account, if you have a fund for your kids, that all can be brought into that lawsuit from somebody suing your business. So your colleague upstairs got brought into a lawsuit of one of his clients. They pierced the corporate veil. He just told us this. They pierced the corporate veil, and now his personal assets have been brought into the lawsuit that was against a client of his. There are so many things that we're facing that we don't understand. And there's a saying by Einstein, right, that smart people solve problems, right? And he did a countersuit, you guys' colleague. He did a countersuit, and that's kind of solving a problem a little bit. But that takes time, energy, effort, money, time away from your family, and not to even mention the mental toll that takes.
Yeah.
You could be thinking about deals, you could be doing deals, but instead you're thinking about that deposition. You're thinking about how much money they could be taking.
Yeah.
So smart people solve them, but geniuses prevent them, right? So now you can be spending that time, energy, money, and effort investing, spending it with your family, going on vacation.
But how does it protect it just because it's harder to find? So like if I own a house and let's say it's an ABC trust and I get sued, that means they can't go after my house even though I own the trust and they're suing me.
Right. That's a great question because it makes sense. Like
Thank
a
you.
person would think that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Ryan, I ask good questions. No, you
Amen.
do.
Thank
That's
you.
great. Yeah, no, I loved it.
My last guest doesn't like my questions.
Right. You guys got to bring me on more often so I can rub his ego. But anyway, so here's the thing. If your name is on it, it's a target.
Yeah.
If your name is on
Brian Davila
it
Trust.
is a target.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
If it's ABC Trust.
well, not in that case, right? But if it's in your name, it is because, see, when you own a trust or when you have a trust own an asset, the beneficiary of that trust, you, the owner, right, quote unquote, is private. That is private. And when the trust is set up properly, it just costs too much money to figure out who to sue. So is this one house, if you worked with us, if you were one of our almost 1,100 clients, you would have that one house and one land trust. So a person trying to sue you, they look on public record, right? And they'd look up your name.
Yeah.
You don't own anything. So the lawyer that's working that is like, okay, I'm not going to do it on a contingency
He's not going to search
basis.
ABC Trust.
Right.
But can he just sue me and then demand to know my assets?
Here's the thing. We got a client that just sent us some paperwork. I was in Hawaii on vacation with my 7-year-old daughter, and she actually called Cordero. I was like, Cordero, tell her to send me the document, and I'm going to call her, right? And so now, mind you, she owns a Lamborghini, Ferrari, 2 businesses, some real estate. Well, we took that all out of her name and protected it, made it invisible. So now on paper, she's poor. So she was facing some lawsuits, and this one was for $14,000 default judgment. So she already owed the money. Well, the lawyer that was suing her said, was bringing her in for a show cause. And it said on that document that she was served that after the plaintiff has searched, they cannot identify any assets sufficient to pay the $14,000 default judgment. Mind you, she's worth millions, right? And so she asked me, hey, what should I do? I said, well, hey, I'm not a lawyer, right? But this is civil. So it's not a criminal case. So, you could not show up or you could go. But if you don't go to a show cause hearing, there's nothing they can do but continue to try to find your assets. And if they can't find it, guess what? They can't take it. Okay. Now, if you go to that show cause, you then have to tell the truth.
Exactly.
And so if you lie, that's perjury, that's criminal. So you get to make the decision. Those are just the 2 different results.
Yeah, like just don't show up.
But if you have to go to court,
What do you mean
Don't
have
you?
to?
because like
What can they take though? What can happen if you don't go?
hold on.
Yeah, think
I've
about
been
it.
to court before and I had to fill out something that said like, what do I own? All my stuff.
Right.
So in that case, if someone has a trust, can they just write nothing?
No, you can't lie.
So you do have to disclose.
No. Well, yeah. If you go to court, she
If you
lost
go to
this by
court.
default judgment. Here's the thing. I know that my assets are all invisible. My money is invisible. So if somebody serves me a lawsuit, I'm going to thank them for serving me notice, and then I'll be wishing them good luck in my mind. One, I'm not showing up. I'm going to lose it by default, but guess what? They'll never collect. If it's unenforceable, if they can't collect it, they can't find it.
Can't that hurt your credit or something like that?
It potentially could, but that is a long, arduous road for a default judgment to affect your credit. Like a long, arduous road for the attorney trying to collect.
Got it. So the main protection is just hard for people to find that you own it. That's the main protection.
Impossible.
Got it.
So if you don't own anything and you don't have any money, are you worth suing?
No, you're not going to sue a poor person.
Right. What for?
Okay.
What for?
I didn't know it was just like so they couldn't see it. But if they do find out you own it,
how?
Randomly, let's just say because you said you would put their trustee. I'm just using my investigator hat on.
No, yeah. You sound like my wife. Anything's possible.
Anything, yes. Yeah. So if I was suing, I'm not going to use Ryan. Let's say my friend Justin.
I'll sue Justin, but not Ryan.
Where's Justin?
You're suing the wrong guy, dude.
Well, let's say Justin Barry, right? If I was suing him and I'm like, okay, I know how to look up people's stuff because I'm in real estate. So I could look up people's real estate. I would look it up. I'd be like, okay, nothing Justin Barry. What's Justin's wife's name? And then I would search Justin's wife's name. And then if that, Justin's wife, Ashley, if I looked up her name, would her name then come up if she's the trustee on the trust?
Here's the thing, and that's a great point.
Bro, this guy,
dude, you got a lot to bring me back.
Stop.
That's a great question, right? No, it really is good, man. But so anyway,
I'm gonna leave.
Right? Yeah, might as well. He's asking all the good questions. No, I'm just kidding, man. So here's the thing: if you work with us, our trustee is just a figurehead. Okay, so we want you to have a person with a different last name as your trustee because
that makes sense.
Privately, as the beneficiary, you control that trustee. They can't make any moves without written direction from you. Okay. So your trustee's just a figurehead. That trustee could be drunk 364 days out of the year and you wouldn't care because ultimately, as the beneficiary, you control it. So with some of my real estates, twice, I've fired my trustee and my backup, my successor trustee, and it was just a business decision, right? Because then I moved up and I could just sign the paperwork at the title company to sell the property.
Without their help?
Yeah, without their help. I just terminated them by signing a one-page document, right? But it was just a business decision, nothing personal. So it's strategic. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's strategic to not put your wife as the trustee.
No. Yeah.
Especially if you guys have the same last name, because then people could just look it up.
Put two and two together. Making it easy.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was going to say, if I saw Justin Barry, okay, I know his wife's name's Ashley Barry. Okay. I see her name on title.
Right. I'm going to put two and two together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And here's the thing with that now. You technically could, if you worked with us, because what we do, it's like there's structure and strategy. So instead of you being the beneficiary of that trust, we make a personal property trust the beneficiary first. Just in case somebody does find, Justin's wife.
Yeah.
And now Justin's wife is deposed and has to, by court order, say who the beneficiary is. But if she says it's the EFG personal property trust, and that has a different trustee, the attorney that's deposing her is going to say two things, right? First, whoever set this up is pretty smart, okay? And then second is they're going to ask themselves a question. Do I want to continue to go down this hole and gamble that there's not more trust as beneficiaries under this one? Because it's going to cost me 5 figures each time to find that out. And how do I know if I'll find Justin next? Or if it's another trust? It's like those Russian dolls. You know? And they're not willing to take that gamble.
Got it.
Right?
Another question I had is like, let's just say I own a house on Banana Street.
Okay.
Brian Davila owns 123 Banana Street. I bought it for $200,000. Now it's worth $400,000. If I take that house on Banana Street and put it into Orange Street Trust, is that a taxable event now because I just moved title from my name to a trust?
Okay. Now I see where you're coming from, though, Ryan. He should have let that last answer soak in a little bit on that first question. You went right to the next question. I'm like, you know how you getting it? Okay. No. So it is not. It's not.
It's not a taxable event.
There's something called the Garn-St. Germain Depository Institutions Act of 1982. And that is a federal law that allows for subject to even deals in real estate, taking over somebody's loan. But they can't call the loan due if you transfer that home into a trust for estate planning purposes.
Yeah.
So even if you have a homestead tax exemption, elderly tax exemption, veterans tax exemption, you can't lose any tax exemptions when you transfer your home into a trust for estate planning purposes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So
Now,
it's not a taxable event.
right. No, absolutely
Okay,
not.
got it.
Right. And most states, they don't even charge transfer tax on that. They have specific statutory codes that you have to put on the paperwork, but they don't charge a transfer tax because it's estate planning.
Do they reassess the taxes on the property?
Nope.
No.
They're not subject to reassessment either.
Got it.
It's a beautiful thing.
So in that scenario, though, Brian did own the home in his name. It is on record that it got transferred to this trust. You could technically try to put that together of like, hey, you know, because I've seen it before too when people do this and it'll show for like $1 or whatever the case is. Like, hey, transferred into a trust. I'm like, that's clearly their trust.
Right, easy peasy. Yeah. So with a living trust, you got to know the difference. A living revocable trust, you are the trustee of that. And the trustee has to be on the public record with the deed as the trustee. So it has to be a person. Now, we use the person's initials, first, middle initial, and last name makes it harder. But we bury the living trust, okay? So with a land trust, all right, you don't have to be the trustee of that. And then we transfer it with a warranty deed, not a quitclaim deed. I'm sure you know as a real estate professional, right?
Yeah.
So, and so with that, it doesn't suggest like a interfamily transfer, right? Or something like that, because it's a warranty deed, first off. And with a different trustee's last name, you can assume what you want, right? But assumptions aren't grounds for a lawsuit.
Yeah.
You need facts. And the facts, you're going to have to pay a lot of money to actually get the facts. So is it worth it?
Right.
And this is what I say is I will never be in court. And it's for two reasons. All right. The first is if I'm wrong, I'll make it right. That's it. Like if I'm wrong, I did something, I harmed somebody in some way, I'm just going to make that right. Okay. The second thing though is most people get sued frivolously.
Yeah.
So if I'm sued frivolously and I know that I didn't do anything, and this is another reason I don't like irrevocable trust, but if I didn't do anything, guess what? They're going to regret the day that they even thought about suing me. Why? Because it's going to cost them more than they would have ever won to even bring me into court. It will. So they will regret it. Now, here's the thing with our strategy versus everybody else's strategy out there, right? Oh, irrevocable trust, they have asset protection. Revocable trust doesn't. Remember, smart people solve problems, geniuses prevent them. You won't see me in court because of our trustee initials strategy, of our layering strategy. Now, let's say you have an irrevocable trust on the other hand, and you're like, it gives me asset protection, I'm all good. So if somebody sues that irrevocable trust and you have to pay $30,000 in court to prove that it's irrevocable, and they say, hey, you do have asset protection after all, so they can't take it. Did you really win? Because you just spent $30,000 to prove that. Right? So would you rather keep that $30,000, go on vacation and not even go into the courtroom because they couldn't find you?
Yeah.
Or would you rather go into court and pay to prove that it's irrevocable?
In today's real estate market, it is really difficult to find cash flow, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. For this reason, I'm a huge fan of wholesaling real estate right now specifically. It's the strategy that I'm using in my real estate investing business, and it's what all of our students at Wealthy Investor are doing as well. And we give you everything that you need to start your wholesaling business and have the same exact system that I have. You get the motivated seller leads, the same softwares, the same systems, processes, and one-on-one coaching and support. We'll show you step by step how you can get started today and get your first deal in 30 days or less. So go to wealthyinvestor.com today.
I honestly don't get it, because if I take Ryan for an example, if I'm like, you know what? I know Ryan has money. I don't know where it's at. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to sue him for $200,000. If he doesn't respond, then he could potentially lose a lawsuit for $200,000. And then I could invest more money into then going and trying to collect it.
Okay.
Right?
Sure, you could.
Okay.
But what are you going to collect?
$200,000.
How?
I don't know. I'm going to invest into like figuring out how do I find out what he owns.
Okay. And don't courts like enforce judgments? Well, the lawyer has to file a bunch of paperwork. And here's the thing. If you don't own it, they can't take it. So you can spend, if your name's on it, it's a target. They can and they will take it, right? that's the enforceable part. This is part of why this knowledge is suppressed, right? Because somebody's got to pay for all of this out here. And the people that made the rules, they're going to play by the good rules of the game. And they're going to market rules to us like have a will. That's estate planning. When a will has to go through probate. So that's not estate planning, right? So they market because that is where probate court is where they get the assets back, and investors like me and Ryan buy real estate for pennies on the dollar, right? So here's the thing. This is why it's been my mission to stand on a mountaintop and tell as many people as I could, the regular people, about this, and then bring them into a community so that they had help answering questions and information so that they could operate this at a reasonable level without having to pay $500 every time they have a question, like with a lawyer after a lawyer does a trust for them, right? So with that said, again, to circle back to your question, if you spend or sue Ryan for $200,000, what sense does it make to spend $400,000 to try to collect that, and you still don't even know if you can collect it?
But would it cost that much?
If Ryan worked with me, it absolutely would.
And if I have good lawyers fighting still, and
I wouldn't even. Again, with our client that lost the default judgment, I gave her the two options. You either don't show up and they still can't find your assets, or you go in, the judge asks you questions, and you have to answer truthfully, or you're committing perjury. So the option is up to you. The decision's up to you. So, I believe she just didn't go. And guess what? They still can't find her assets.
Does it ever fall off your public record or something?
What?
Her judgment.
That judgment, it will after 7 years.
Okay, got it.
Even the lien, right? It's 7 to 10. So you can get it removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you even get into this industry? Because obviously there's a lot that goes into it. And I know you talked about real estate and what you were doing before. How did you fall into this? So I started in real estate, creative financing, subject to, and my mentor is the founding president of the National Real Estate Investors Association.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Pace Morby.
God, no. But this is why I know about trust. If I was a Pace Morby student, I wouldn't know about trust. So no knock on him. No, not a knock. He just doesn't use that strategy. That's all.
Okay.
I mean, so my mentor's, somebody different. And so I learned to buy houses in trust, right? And as I was going along, I found out that trust were the real power. Real estate was just the icing on the cake. We could take over loans that way and do a bunch of other stuff. But so I taught my students how to put their properties in land trusts, and we put our money in a trust bank account to make our money invisible, right? So as I was going along and getting bigger, people were reaching out to me, man, wanting me to do help them set up a trust. I even have a student out of Dallas, Texas, who's a heavy hitter in multifamily, man, heavy hitter, and in single family flips. His name is Tommy Jones. He came to a live event that I had, and he asked me one question about a subject to and the seller going into bankruptcy or something, and how do I stop that? And so I gave him the answer. And he's like, man, I've spent probably $15,000 going to different events, talking to different gurus that could not answer that question. Pace Morby and his team as well could not, right? And so I answered that question for him. He got into my inner circle and my round table, and he convinced me, man, to do a free asset protection workshop in Dallas at the Arbor Board of Realtors. And that was my first really introduction into it. I was resistant, right? But the people needed it. Like the place was full. We were on the Dallas news, and I saw how bad they needed it, how long they were in probate, lawsuits that they faced, that they could have protected themselves from. And I was like, man, we need to do this. And Tommy was like, this is going to be your bread and butter, Gene. You need to leave the real estate alone. So now I don't care if I never see a piece of real estate again in my life. Really.
You fit right in.
Hey, part of the crew.
Everyone's getting out of real estate.
Right. I mean, but we've been able to help so many people.
Now you just sell the paper.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's wholesale.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Paper's where the power is, man. Contracts. So same thing with trust. Yeah.
So what's the worst thing that you've seen happen to somebody who didn't have it in place?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of nightmare situations. Just because the only people, man, that are really upset about getting a trust are the ones that waited until it was too late, right? If you're already being sued,
it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late, right? You don't buy a house and something happens to the roof or there's a fire, and then you go get homeowner's insurance.
Right.
Right. You go buy an iPhone, you drop it, shatter the screen, then you go get a case. It's backwards. So that's what a trust is around real estate. That's what a trust is around your bank account. So that's what a trust is around your business even. I mean, we've seen, I had a client, let's see here. Okay. I had a client that was in a partnership, LLC, and he had been married for 30 years, owned his home for 25. So they making the mortgage payment, had a lot of equity. They go to sell the house, list it, they get a contract, they get a buyer, they go to closing, and the title company runs a title search right before they distribute the money. Well, they had about $150,000 in equity, and the title company says, hey, you've got a lien against your name for a default judgment. So we can't pay you this $150,000 in equity because we have to pay this lien first. And the lien's about $100,000, and he doesn't know what's going on. Now, you can imagine, though, his wife's looking at him like, what you got going on? You know, I knew you were up to something. So I feel like we saved his marriage, but really, because I mean, what, 100,000? They were going to live their golden years like with that equity money. And so luckily he knew me, he saw video or whatever, came to us, and we were able to, one, make his ownership with that house invisible, set up a bank account for him. So he ended up getting his money. But here's what happened. He was in a partnership LLC. His partner got sued for something else outside of what they were doing. They hadn't been partners for quite some time. Well, they pierced the corporate veil with the partner who was being sued, connected their business, and now my client is receiving notice because he's brought into this lawsuit, but he doesn't even see the notice. So he lost by default by just not showing up.
Yeah.
So since he lost, they pierced the corporate veil on their business, that partnership, and now his personal assets are at risk because he signed a document with just his name. And so now he didn't even know this happened until he went to sell his house and had already made plans for his golden years and was going to spend his $150,000 in equity until he couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a hell of a surprise, dude.
Yeah.
And we don't even know we're facing this.
Yeah.
This is why people think that they don't need trust until they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
So let's talk about Brian.
Oh boy.
He has no trust
Oh boy.
at all. He doesn't
And
know.
everyone that's watching this.
Right.
Yeah.
All the people that don't have a trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does he need to do? He's a real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur. Walk me through the steps.
Yeah. How many trusts do I need?
Well, I mean, I like segregation, okay? Asset segregation.
Okay.
Asset
Let's say,
segregation.
whoa.
60s?
Right. Brian's like, yeah. I saw the look. No, asset segregation, right? I mean,
I like this guy more, actually.
okay. No, asset segregation, man, because
Okay.
you want your assets to not be able to affect or infect each other.
Okay.
So I would start with, how much real estate do you own? Okay. And then is it free and clear? Right. So because that's a prime
He's got a
target.
couple. He got a couple.
That's a prime target, man. I mean, it's easy to find your ownership. So
They're in LLCs.
LLC stands for limited liability company, right?
Yeah.
So it's limited because the LLC protects the business from you.
Yeah.
But if you've ever transferred money from your account to the business account incorrectly, corporate veil pierced. This is why there was $160 billion in total liability lawsuits against LLCs. And for people watching, 95% of LLCs will be sued during the life of that LLC. And I know that sounds unbelievable. Okay.
No, that sounds very believable.
Yeah, I was going to tell
I've
the
been
viewers.
sued a couple times. Yeah. Lost 15,000 so far.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. 15,000. How many? You got kids?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Got hella kids.
That would have been nice in a college fund or something.
I chalk it up to the game. I'm like, you know what?
Really?
Yeah.
For the love of the game.
For the love of the game. It's
Wow.
50.
You know what? This is why there was 160 billion in total liability lawsuits, because the average lawsuit costs 54,000 for a small business. Right?
That's a lot.
Yes, 54,000. I mean, all your viewers have to do is Google these numbers, right?
Yeah.
Because they're true. And so a $54,000 unexpected expense, most businesses can't sustain that, right?
Yeah.
And attorneys know this. And so if I know it's going to cost you more to defend it, I'm going to, at a minimum, get you to settle.
Yeah. That's what I did. I settled.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the game, man.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what they say? There's a sucker born every day.
Yeah.
Right? So after you, they went and got the one that was born the next day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's how it goes.
I got sued by a professional litigator.
They're out there.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah.
And so right now, I mean, it's just a matter of luck, And here's the thing about hope, right? It's great to have,
Amen.
but it's not a plan,
Okay.
And so if you're planning with hope, well, hey, better you than me.
How long does it take to set up a trust?
Not long, honestly. I mean, it doesn't. It takes us, we have a 60-day process for our clients, right?
Uh-huh.
And no matter what the amount of assets are that they have, we've set up a system and process to be able to get them prepared in 60 days. Now, here's the thing. People come to us with emergencies, right? They're being sued or somebody's about to die, because these things happen. And unfortunately, their emergency is not our urgency. Now, if you want to pay our priority fee, we'll make it our urgency, right?
Got it.
Because smart people solve problems, geniuses prevent them. You should have gotten a trust. Not making a decision is a decision because lawsuits will decide for you.
Yeah.
Right? Creditors will decide for you. Judgments will decide for you.
Yeah.
Probate court will decide for you. Family disputes after you're gone, since you didn't set up a trust, that will decide for you. So
how does it work with like a trust in marriage? Like if someone puts their assets in a trust and they get a divorce, does the wife automatically get half of the trust? Wife or husband? I'm not asking for me. I'm just
no, I get it. That's a great question, dude, because it does affect these things. And so if you are prudent enough to make a decision once you're informed of these things, then it won't affect you like it affects everybody else. So if you have your trust set up prior to marriage, or even if I pass all of my assets to my daughter, and somebody, her future husband knows, like, dang, her dad's rich.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I'm gonna marry her because I want some of that money.
Yeah.
I want some of that real estate. Might even want a little bit of the business. Well, guess what? It's written into my trust that when my daughter gets married, the assets that she gets from this trust will not become community property. It's separate property. It stays separate property, even the growth of the value of those assets when she gets married.
Yeah.
Right? This is why you got to work with somebody that's high level, because if you don't write that one part in about the growth of the value of the asset, then the growth can become community property.
My father-in-law actually told me he did that with his business.
What?
He said he wrote it into his trust that all his daughter's husbands would not get anything if he passed away.
He's like, you?
Yeah. He told me that on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
He told me on Thanksgiving to eat a turkey.
Damn.
Oh, you ain't never getting $1, right?
Right. Yeah, so quit kissing ass.
I was like, damn, Robert.
You're like, bro, I've been married for like 10 years now.
Right.
You
That
still
just
ain't
changed-
getting $1.
That just changed things.
How is that even possible? Oh, because I guess so when someone passes, the trust gets passed down, or the asset gets passed down?
Great question, man. Dang, I keep saying that to you.
Because I don't know anything about trust. So
No, it's cool, dude. Most people don't. It's been suppressed because it's so powerful, right? Just like what your father-in-law said. You're not getting anything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so quit kissing ass.
Yeah.
But sorry. But
well, that's why I didn't kiss ass, because I was like, oh, damn.
well, I'm
You know
not
what?
now.
We're just-
Yeah.
I'm not even talking to you.
see yourself out now.
Right. They're with your Father's Day card.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing. It is for continuity of passing your assets down, right? And wealthy people and rich people, they don't think about the asset that they're passing down necessarily. They think about how they're passing it to that next generation and what they're going to do with it.
Yeah.
So the trust doesn't die. We die, but the trust does not die. The trust owns it. So it's how that transfer triggers immediately. Right? While we're alive. So it's just called our successor beneficiaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're our successors. So you can set that up to where it goes on for generations. Right? You can even, here's the way that Rockefeller maintains wealth and makes his family, his grandchildren, and everybody after him wealthy. They become their own bank, and they use insurance to do it, right? And
heard of that too.
so, yeah, it's the waterfall strategy. Here's the basics of it. They buy insurance policies for themselves and their kids, right? And so when they pass away, but they make the trust the beneficiary of those policies. So then when they pass away, the trust gets paid out the insurance benefits, right? And then the trust is ordered to buy the kids separate, right? Buy them insurance policies. Now they all have insurance policies, and with whatever is left over, the surplus of that insurance payout, they buy cash flowing assets. Okay, for the trust. And then they make the distributions from the assets that are paying out to the kids. And so now when the kids die, same thing, but more insurance payouts, and it buys it for their kids. And then the trust buys more assets, and they're able to pay for their kids' marriages, college, businesses if they want, right? The trust has all of that written in. If my son maintains a 3.0 grade point average, he'll get $50,000 when he graduates. When he gets married, he gets $100,000. If he stays married for 5 years, the trust will give him another $50,000. right?
Who makes sure that happens though? The trustee?
The trustee.
Got it.
Absolutely.
But what if the trustee is like, no, I don't want to pay him out, even though he got a 3.0?
Great question, man. God, I got to stop saying that because you're not going to believe me after a while.
Okay.
But that was a good question.
I'm going to watch your past interviews and see if you've been, great question.
Right.
Like this guy.
I'm just trying to get him to the lobby to bring me back, really. But, no, I'm just kidding. So here's the thing, right? Your trustee powers is what it's called. Like I've got a viral video going right now where things that their lawyer won't tell them, secret trust strategies that your lawyer didn't tell you. And lawyers, it's their self-preservation essentially to keep you in court. And I love lawyers. I have them on my team. My corporate attorney's great. I love her. Charity, love you. She knows it. But here's the thing. If your trustee powers aren't written clearly, then they could pull that sort of move, right? And most trustees, if the trust is written right, they don't have personal liability. So you can't sue the trustee unless they do something negligent, but they have a fiduciary responsibility. And that is the law, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a trustee, you are the fiduciary, and your responsibility is to take the orders of the trust and execute whatever those orders are.
Got it.
Right? And here's the best part. Now, the accounting of a trust. I love it because you can write into a trust that you can request the accounting from the trustee. And if you, as the beneficiary, accept that accounting, then that has to be accepted in the public, private, and by anybody who would want or have any association with the trust.
Got it.
Right? So a trust, I mean, you can essentially make your own rules.
Yeah.
And we can't take any of this stuff that we're talking about with us, right? That we're building. We can't take it with us, but guess what? We can control it from the grave. For sure. We can make sure that our kids don't lose it 2 years after getting it.
Yeah, they don't mismanage what you built.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I was saying about those rules, because I deal with a lot of probate sellers.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And then like once someone dies, it's like all hell breaks loose. Then like all the siblings start fighting. The wife wants more.
Then even if we're trying to buy the deal,
Yeah,
you
the
gotta,
new
like,
wife
get
wants
6 signatures over some bull crap.
Yeah, and people argue about what to do with the asset and who to sell.
Everyone's
and,
got to get on the same page with
everyone
the
gets on the
price.
same
Yep.
page. Yeah,
And guess-
exactly.
there's cash and chaos. That's why investors go in for probate, target it, because there's cash and chaos. And the fact that you buy probate properties and know the ramifications of probate, right? Like families, like a grenade going off in your family because we decided that instead of planning this out and making sure that our kids and our loved ones didn't have to make these decisions for us, that we were going to leave them to make decisions for our assets and not make them now.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, the last gift that we'll ever give our loved ones, our wife, our kids, is the ability to just grieve when we die. Now think about it. You bought probate properties, you bought probate properties. It would have been nice if those people could have just grieved, man. Instead of having to deal with this, argue with each other about money, go find an attorney, right?
Yep.
But hey,
We
guess
would have
what?
rather bought them friggin' in the trust too.
Yeah, exactly.
The probate
been a lot
thing's
easier.
a big headache.
Yeah.
Headache, yeah.
Sometimes they go to court and the
Yeah, because even if you want to sell it when your parents die, you can't.
Right.
It's got to go through the probate process unless it's in a trust.
Yeah, unless it's in a trust.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that everybody has an estate plan, whether they know it or not.
Right.
Because if you are not responsible enough to plan it when you know about it, guess what? The government knows that. So they're going to make that decision for you.
Just so everyone knows too, if they're already listening to this and they're like, yo, I don't have a trust. I need a trust. How do they get one?
They
Where do they go?
They can go to thegogetterfamily.com.
Thegogetterfamily.com.
Yep. It should be in the description of this video. They can just click on that. I have a free live trust masterclass once a month where I give this information. I show a graphic of what it looks like to be private and how hard it is to sue you, right? And so because being informed, making an informed decision is the way that you want to make a decision. They can set up a free strategy call with my intake specialist. My head of intake, Cordero, is here. We got 7 other guys. And those, we usually charge for them, but we give them a free 15-minute call just for the information, right? You might even make an appointment, man.
I am going to because I don't have a trust, honestly.
Right. And so we
Might cut that out too, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, well, you know me now, so you can keep it in there and then come back 2 months later and say, guess what?
I got a
Sue
trust.
me if you can. Almost
Brian
if you
Davila
can.
Trust.
Right. No. That means you don't know me.
Okay.
Yeah, that means you don't know me.
My bad.
Yeah, all my real estate.
He gave me it. It's called the Brian Davila.
right. So,
It's like, I did not tell you.
we got to ask ourselves a question though, man, truly, because we don't know. You believe in God?
Yeah.
Right? Me too, right? Of
course, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens if you believe in God?
Yeah.
Right? Me too, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens if we don't come home tomorrow? Who controls our house? Who controls our business?
Whatever's outlined. Well, for me, whatever's outlined in my trust. For him,
Yeah, right.
Freaking Gavin Newsom, because all my stuff's in California.
Oh God! Yeah, well, kiss that goodbye if it's in Cali. Yeah, right. Kiss it goodbye, man. You know that's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Who controls your bank account? Do you pass your family peace, or do you pass them problems?
Does your wife have to agree with what you do in the trust?
If you not necessarily agree, but if you put your assets into trust while you're married, right, you would already have it written out in your revocable living trust, essentially. Now, if you have assets and you're not married, they should be in a trust, right? And the other thing is if you know somebody or professional that can keep you out of the chain of title while you're married, those assets can flow into that trust without needing your wife's permission, essentially.
Got it.
Okay. So
well, it would depend on community property, right?
Well, if you're not in the chain of title, have you ever owned it and it goes into the trust? Technically.
So when you buy an asset, you just buy it straight in the trust.
Absolutely.
And not your personal name at
Like
all.
all of my subject to properties that I don't own anything, I control them. I'm not in the chain of title anywhere.
Yeah, the trust bottom.
Right. And so ultimately I own it. But you just can't find me anywhere in the chain of ownership until I want you to or I need you to.
But like if you go get a divorce, God forbid, and your wife knows like, oh, he owns this trust and this trust owns this asset, they can't bring that up during your divorce?
They can.
They can.
They can.
Yeah.
And if I'm getting divorced, I would probably be happy about that. Why? Because that means my soon-to-be ex-wife has spent a lot of money to have her attorney try to track this stuff down, and I'm sure she probably can't afford it. And ultimately, she's not going to get anything from that because of what is written into the trust. The trust overrules whatever statutory codes there are, community properties, equitable distribution state.
Oh, okay.
It overrules that if it is done properly, man. It's got to be done properly, executed properly, and it overrules it.
You guys know I love the game of golf, and that is why I started M19. It is a golf mastermind for entrepreneurs who are doing over 7 figures in their business and who want to go on bucket list golf trips together. We already have hundreds of members all across the country, and we've been to some of the best courses in the world, places like Pebble Beach, Pinehurst, Bandon Dunes, and many others. The course is the best place to do deals, make great relationships, and have fun. So go to mastermind19.com today.
Got it.
So one thing that I always hear with trust, and people try to pitch them, is, these different trust structures to mitigate taxes. Right now, we're mainly talking about asset protection, and if something bad happens to you. What do any of these do anything tax wise? What do you think of those different types of trust structures?
Yeah, there are some absolutely high level trusts that you can defer taxes and never pay taxes until 21 years after the death of the last beneficiary.
Damn.
Of your line.
That sounds good.
That's great.
That's great.
That's great. It is, right? But you have to be connected to the right people with that knowledge that's going to be able to help you execute that, right? Because you can essentially on a simple level, right, with these trusts like a deferred sale trust, they're all irrevocable.
DSTs.
Right, yeah. They're great, dude. Look at Ryan over there. He's like, I know what he's
Got some DSTs.
Right, so
I got too many people in M19 that do some crazy stuff.
right, you're golfing, man. Yeah.
I hear about every trip I learn something. I'm like, whoa, that's an interesting thing I never knew you could do to not pay taxes.
Yeah. Now, but let me guess. Those people kind of have money, right? They're in the 1% that are getting.
The average member business does $10 million a year.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And so this is why I stand from a mountaintop and give this information to the regular people, right? So because it's been suppressed. So anyway, make it simple.
Yeah.
You sell the asset to the trust with a note, a promissory note. And it has to be set up a specific way, and then the trust gets to pay you that money. You get to use that money that asset is bringing in without having to pay capital gains taxes on it, income taxes on it. But it's rather complicated, and it's not cheap to have a professional like file those taxes, right? But it's worth it if you're not paying any taxes, right?
Like, there's no income. So if I buy a house for $100,000. and I put it in this trust, and I'm like, okay, this house brings in $1,500 a month. I could have it pay me the rent, and I don't have to pay income tax or any sort of tax on that.
Right, because the trust owes you that money because you sold that house to the trust with a promissory note.
So I'm just getting my money back.
Essentially. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, but it's a little more complex with that, with the trust distributions, the income distributions of the trust.
Yeah.
And how that has to be set up in order for it not to be taxable. And then again, it gets kicked down the road for 21 years after your last beneficiary dies.
Dang.
Right. But here's the thing: there's a lot of people out there on the internet that talk about this stuff or whatever. But if they don't set that up correctly, like you could go a few years without paying taxes, but the IRS will come back and reclassify that money.
Then you're going to jail.
Exactly.
Jail.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
Damn, you go to jail?
Well, I mean, if you don't pay what you owe.
Tax evasion, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't pay what you owe, because they'll say, hey, you owe, this money. We reclassified this money, this income that you didn't pay taxes on. Here's how much you owe. And if you don't pay that, then Wesley Snipes went to jail. I mean, a number of people, right?
Wesley Snipes went to jail?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No,
Wesley went to jail,
Tax
man.
evasion.
He didn't pay on like $7 million or something like that.
Yeah.
But again, if you don't know the right people, right, you just got somebody in your ear, hey, man, you don't have to pay taxes.
Well, it's hard because he probably thought he had it set up properly.
Yeah, that's true.
That
is true, man.
And then you didn't, and now you owe $7 million.
Right.
And it's like,
and you can't pay it.
Damn.
You're going to jail. Yeah, because they want their money, dude.
Yeah, the IRS can collect.
Yeah, absolutely. See, that's the thing about the government. That's why I tell people, people trying to sue you, they can't afford to pierce your trust, man. It's just going to cost too much. But the government prints money. And if you've broken a law, like you shouldn't have done that, you're going to jail.
Yeah, how does that work with if someone owes taxes?
The government's going to get their money.
The government's different than civil.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Now it's a criminal offense that you didn't do this.
Exactly. That's why I said earlier, for irrevocable trust, I like Medicaid asset protection trusts because there's a 5-year look back when you apply for Medicaid and you need it. They're looking back 5 years to see what you owned. And if you tried to transfer something, say to your kid's name or your kid's wife, they're going to look at bank transfers, how much money was involved, and they're going to go back and they're going to get that asset so that you have to pay for this medical care that you get from the government. So many people lose houses, money, investments because they didn't transfer their assets into a trust 5 years before they applied for Medicaid, and then they didn't know how to get a Medicaid asset protection trust. So if you know how to do that, you can transfer it, tomorrow and apply next week. And as long as it's in a Medicaid asset protection trust, that 5-year look back won't apply for you. It is complex though, for sure. So we have a community that when somebody becomes a client of ours, we have a once a month client Q&A. They're in that for life. They don't have to pay us down the road, 5 years down the road. They get the invite to that and they can come ask their question. We have a private community, a private platform where they can put their questions on there. They can put posts kind of like a Facebook almost, but private. So that's why we do this, man, because we don't want our people to be in that situation. We actually
walk me through a client journey with you. So, you don't have a trust right now. You're Brian. Brian makes this call. I'm assuming you're going to suggest how many trusts he needs based on his assets, his goals, everything, right?
I would tell Brian, since he said he owned a couple houses, I would say he needs 3 trusts to start. He owns.
Grant Cardone said you don't own crap, though.
Oh yeah, Grant Cardone called me a brokey.
Oh
he
man,
did call you a brokey.
Hey, I guess it's a matter of
perspective.
There's levels. Yeah, there's perspective.
Right. Levels, man.
Billion, couple of billion.
Brian's like, I'm a serious. He goes, how about you got? How about you got? Brian's like, like 30. Just, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Subtract 10 off that because it was Grant. Let me make it look good and say 30.
I got 3. Yeah.
Right, maybe like 50.
Yeah.
Little squeak at the end. So I would say you need 3 trusts, man. Your 2 houses and then your money, your bank account, right?
Oh, okay. So you want people to put their bank accounts
in a personal property trust. Yep.
What about their businesses?
Well, then you would need a 4th. Right? Because we want to make your business just a nameplate.
Are your businesses in a trust?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
He hesitated on that answer. He's got a lot of them now. Some of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have multiple trusts. I got a lot going on.
He knows the right people, man.
Okay. He's got the whole thing.
He's rich too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You talk to him more.
I've been sued quite a few times.
Really? Wait. So were you sued before you had a trust?
Before I had a trust. How old was I when I got a trust? I want to say I got my first trust in 2018. I don't think I was ever formally sued before that, but I had been sent a demand letter before and, whatever. But no, I never got sued before that.
Oh, wow. You're God's son for sure, man. So you've never like been right. You've never been forced to like settle because they were going to take all your assets. And,
No, I've settled lawsuits before.
really? And you had trust?
Yeah.
Was it like the reason I said just because you were wrong and you just made it right, or they like kind of had leverage and you needed to settle?
I think the only lawsuits I've ever settled were TCPA, just cold calling freaking bull crap.
That's what I got sued for. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
and just mainly just cold calling bull crap.
How much did you settle for?
I've spent at least six figures in settlements over the last 8 years.
If you have trust, why didn't you just let it go to court?
Well, I didn't even know I could just not.
Well, yeah, but see,
I wasn't
If I would have known, I didn't have to show up.
I mean, I had it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm just like, whatever.
wow. I mean, some people have whatever money, right? So some people set money aside just because they know they're going to be sued.
Yeah.
But people just starting out in the game and they don't have that type of favor from God.
Yeah.
I talked to Sean from another podcast here in
Kelly?
Sean Kelly, from another podcast here in Vegas, and he told me he got sued, and the first time it almost took him out of the game. It was like 5 figures, and then he got sued again, and he settled for 6 figures. He had more money at the time. But,
Oh my gosh.
But how many people get knocked out of the game because of a lawsuit?
I've heard
and that they couldn't afford, right? And so,
Just to be clear, I'm up on lawsuits because
Okay.
I've sued and I've
right.
settled a lot more more than I've lost.
Really? I didn't know that.
So you're in the black in terms of getting
the black.
settlement. I like that.
Dang.
You seem to be in the black on many things, man. We need to talk more. 'Cause
Sometimes.
Me too. Sometimes.
Who did you sue?
Well, you sue homeowners when they don't perform.
Oh, okay.
You sue. Well, I actually haven't done this, but I could have. Sue people talking crap. I don't do it because I'm just like whatever. But yeah, I think mainly they were all real estate related.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got money to defend it, right?
Yeah.
So here's what we do with an LLC. Our LLC does not own any assets because some people are like, well, I don't own it. My LLC does. Well, guess what? That's just all your stuff then, right? If somebody sues that. And then if you own all your stuff and your LLC doesn't own anything, if they pierce that corporate veil, they're coming to get all your stuff. Yeah. So our LLC, it's like a nameplate. That's it. So the LLC, the managing member interests, are owned by a personal property trust. We sign a management agreement with that trust, and now we can manage that LLC the way that an owner would. We can be the face of it. We can do the marketing. We can do the inventory, whatever that business is, with no liability. And then if somebody wants to sue that business, they can. It's going to be hard because when they find out a trust owns it, now they got to find out who owns the trust.
Yeah.
They're going to spend 5-6 figures. And then if they do get to, whomever, the LLC doesn't own anything. And if you've already segregated your other assets, because you listened to me, there's nothing for them to get, and there's nothing that can be connected to that lawsuit. That's the name of the game, man. Listen, I love sleeping like a baby, man. Yeah. I love it, dude. Yeah. I'm talking about the little thumb in my mouth and everything. Why? I mean, seriously. Why? Because I know, man, that nobody is going to sue me and take anything from me, especially if the litigation is,
I will say that the only difference is when you're a guy like me who's public and people have assets, the lawyers will spend the money to go do it anyways.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean,
if it's just work for the lawyer.
Yeah, but like I think for most people listening, it won't be worth it. Like they'll just be like, okay, like I'm not gonna, like this one guy owns 2 rental properties and we don't know anything else, like whatever. But a guy like me, the lawyer, I'm a target.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's, I would disagree slightly in that, yes, you're absolutely a target. I'm a target too. I got about 1.2 million followers across social media, all that stuff. But you can't see anything I own. Like if I Google Ryan Pineda and say, what is Ryan Pineda's net worth? What will it say? Right now,
Let's ask chat.
well, I mean,
Mass chat.
and then ask it, what is Gene Boykin's net worth? And it's going to say that there's no publicly available information about Gene Boykin's net worth.
It's like those Hollywood celebrity net worth things.
Yeah, right. And so that's a guessing starting point though.
Yeah.
So you can't even guess with me, man. You can be like, this guy's just full
I'll
of
tell
it.
you, like, it is interesting because being a public figure, they can just infer like, okay, it is worth it to go after his assets and spend the money, especially if the lawyer's going to do it on contingency.
But why would they, though, if they look you up first? Because that's what they do with a lawsuit. Ask any of your attorney buddies that you golf with in your M19.
Yeah.
When somebody comes in their office to file a lawsuit, what do? Do you go look up that person they want to sue first to see what they own? and then see if you want to take it on a contingency basis? Because does it make sense to an intelligent person to try to go sue me and maybe win to get paid for it, but they look me up and I don't own anything? There's no identifiable bank accounts in my name. There's no identifiable stock in my name. No identifiable businesses in my name. Does it make sense to sue me on a contingency basis?
Right.
I mean, you got to think about it.
It says you're worth $10 to $20 million.
Well, there we go.
Who, Ryan?
Yep.
I was going to say, I know that's not me.
That's what it says.
Run me.
You're worth.
Run me. I'm curious.
What's it say, Brian Davila?
Okay.
No, I'm asking him, like, do you know any of Ryan Pineda's assets? It says real estate publicly shared.
Oh gosh.
See, you talk too much, dude. You talk too
better
much on
whisper
this
that.
mic, dude.
I mean,
Okay, it says there's no reliable public record
of
Of what I own.
of
what-
what he owns.
I like that.
Very
Respect,
good.
brother. Respect.
Let's go.
Good
Smart
job.
man.
Yeah.
Smart man.
There we go, baby.
Yeah.
It's all in the trust.
And yeah, I love it.
I do own nothing.
Exactly. That's true. Because I think Cordero has my phone. I can show you now some accounts too, but they're trust accounts.
Here, I'm going to go. Hey, what is Brian Davila's net worth? Let's see what Chad says. It doesn't even spell your name.
It doesn't say anything. It says I can't find any reliable public record.
Can you speak up? Can you speak up when you say? Because I couldn't hear you.
It says I can't find anything reliable. I can't find any public reliable source identifying well-known entrepreneur and investors, his public financial records.
Okay, because it seemed like you forgot how to read for a minute now.
No, because
Yeah.
it was interesting because like yours is like short,
Yeah.
and then look at Ryan's.
Well, I haven't been in the game as long as Ryan, but
Yeah,
Bro, you're-
but it's making estimates. But it's making estimates
yeah, it's
on
making
his.
estimates, right?
Oh,
Like,
on me,
there's-
but not him.
Yeah, that's what I'm
right.
saying. Like
and it
his
said,
is short.
It said I'm well known.
Yeah, it says
'Cause
you're
I am.
well known, but it says literally like there's no.
Can I read it?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm curious.
Read it.
So I couldn't find a reliable public source identifying well-known entrepreneur or investor named Gene Boykin with published financial information.
Yeah.
If you're referring to a specific Gene Boykin, could you tell me which one? For example, what industry he is in, what company he is associated with, where have you seen or heard of him?
Yeah.
Go for
but
it,
look
man.
at, but look
'Cause
at Ryan. Scroll up and look
There's
at Ryan.
nothing. I want to come up like this. Now,
Yeah.
now Ryan, we can talk.
We got some estimates, bro.
You can teach me how to golf. Yeah, listen, you come to Houston, man. I'll take care of you. We'll go over to Golf Club of Houston. I'm a
we
full
go.
member. So
There
we're
we
on the
go.
members course.
There we go.
And then-
okay, because I don't play public.
Right. So obviously.
Except on our trips. We play public.
No, well, not to
Pebble Beach.
Houston, not a trip to Houston.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at what you got going on, man. Have my team assess it and let you know, because this should not be coming up, man. He said he
gave a few
it
estimates.
said he said he invested in over 100 million.
Yeah.
He has publicly stated he owns, 600 whatever. Large YouTube social media audit. Okay. But it does say there is no reliable public record listing all of his personal assets, such as every house, bank account, investment account, or vehicle.
They're just taking my ass.
Oh, what's that? What,
Yeah.
There's a website that says Strive or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it keeps
Hey,
quoting.
Davila, yours is funny what Claude
Oh,
says.
no.
Wow, what's it say?
It says
curious.
the bot. Well, just how Claude talks to me. It says there's no reliable verified net worth for Brian Davila, the real estate investor educator. He's not a public figure with disclosed financials, just a private investor and content creator.
There we go.
That's how it defines you.
Kind of disrespectful.
I know. He's just a content creator. What I can confirm about him is he started his real estate career in Las Vegas in 2015 as an agent. Then he began investing in 2018, building wealth through flipping, wholesaling, and a rental portfolio. He had a strong rookie year as an agent, earning around $150,000
Nice.
before scaling into wholesaling and flipping. He now runs real estate education content. But no legitimate source publishes an actual net worth, just vague millionaire framing on his blog and podcast.
Amen.
Hey,
I
like,
mean-
this is the funniest part.
I don't have a blog, but okay.
If you're trying to size him up as a potential connection, partner, or a comp for something, I'm happy to dig into publicly what's known about him.
Dang. Was that Claude?
Yeah.
I should ask Claude.
I'm trying to size.
Size
You know
him
what? I'm
up.
gonna tell Claude that.
Right.
Hey, Claude, I actually am trying to size him up and find out more about this guy.
One.
Now think about if you got your assets in your name and somebody's actually doing this. they're coming to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that easy, bro.
That's scary
It
now.
truly is, man.
Yeah.
Scary now.
Now it's getting scary. I'm like, what?
Okay, well, you're starting to understand now,
Yeah.
which is cool. It sometimes takes an hour or so talking
Yeah.
to me.
And usually Claude goes, interesting. This guy's actually already close to you in your world. Here's what's already out there.
Oh, there you go.
Wealthy Investor is a real estate education company founded by Ryan Pineda and Brian Davila. So he's your co-founder,
That's
not
smart.
just someone in your space. Oh, that's so funny.
Come talk to me, man.
So-
Go talk to Alex after this and ask.
Wow,
what
this
happened.
actually knows a lot about you. Born in Puerto Rico to a single mom, dropped out of high school in 10th grade and struggled with addiction until around 25.
Why are you pointing at me when you said
Yeah,
addiction?
so, I
right?
mean, yeah,
Just saying, this is you.
man.
So what else with trust? So it's passing down assets, protecting assets. What about like getting leverage? Can you get
In what way?
leverage?
Oh,
Can
like
banks like give you-
collateralize?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can get a loan with a trust?
Well, so if you don't have a relationship with a bank, we just helped one of our clients get a $1.8 million SBA loan. And he's one of the few people that did it while his land was owned in the land trust that we put it in and use that land as collateral, right, for that loan. But usually we recommend that you just transfer it out of your name, out of the trust while you're going through underwriting, get approved for the loan, then transfer it back. That's easier. Okay.
Right.
But if you have a relationship, it's just called an assignment and quit claim of a collateral assignment of beneficial interest. Okay. So you are collaterally assigning your beneficial interest, the ownership,
Yeah.
as collateral, right? So the trustee has to sign, and then the bank has you sign the promissory note as the beneficiary, but the promissory note's private. Right, you all know that as investors. And then you can actually get a loan without even a credit check.
Interesting.
Right,
In SBA?
not a SBA.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a relationship based loan essentially.
Got
Now, if it's a big Wells Fargo or Chase, they're not going to do it with unless you're like $200 million type of client or something. But a mid level regional bank, absolutely, 100%. You got to have a relationship.
So just to walk this through, you think the first step is obviously book a call with you guys.
Yeah,
And you'll kind of look at their situation like Brian, say, hey, here's what we suggest. Here's the price. How long does it take to get the trust set up?
we hold ourselves to a 60-day standard.
Okay.
Right. It's usually less than that, but we won't go longer than that unless the client isn't participating. And we're going to
Not getting
remind
you the
you
information.
exactly,
you
yeah,
need.
because we do need information from you so that we can help construct this, right?
Yeah.
When I made my trust, Mindy and I had to go in, talk about all these different things with the people and be like, hey, how do you want your assets, passed down to your kids? What do you want to happen? Who is going to run the business? Who's going to, it's all the things you asked earlier, they're going to ask you all of those things.
What happens now if you have a question about your trust structure?
I literally haven't asked a question in 10 years, so I don't know.
Well, that wasn't cheap what you set up, which is great, right? It shouldn't be, honestly, but a lot of times people are on their own. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
How does it work
It
when
would
you-
cost money. I just haven't asked one.
How about when you start a new business? How does that work?
I can't tell you on air.
I can't tell you on air, man. I mean, hey,
No, I'm saying
Now that
like,
I've seen Claude's capabilities,
right. So, I mean,
okay.
it's okay.
But when you start a new business, then you would just put it into a trust.
Maybe.
here's what we do.
Maybe.
Here's what we do.
Maybe I don't have a business.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe
it's
I've
all
never
fake.
started one.
Yeah.
Maybe this is AI.
They're all in your name. Right. No, here's what we do, man. We open the business in Wyoming for our clients. And then we start off with the trust being the managing member, man.
I have a Wyoming LLC. I'll say that.
That's a good
I have that. I do have
start. Yeah, that's a good start.
It may or may not have the name Brian Davila in it.
I throw them off because they're like, this is in Wyoming. He doesn't live in Wyoming. This can't be him.
There's no way. There it is.
Boom. Easy. 30 seconds.
So what about, can you tell us your story about transitioning? So you used to be, I was gonna say something stupid. I was gonna say, you used to be a woman, right? No, but you used to be in real estate.
That happens a lot, man. It's all good.
But you used to be in real estate, right?
Yeah.
And then when did you get out of real estate? How long were you in real estate?
About 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
So, but I've had like
What have you been doing before all this?
yeah.
oh man, life, like making mistakes, like dude, right
just
before
living.
Yeah, really. Like right before I started in the real estate, dude, I was running a landscaping company. I started at $12 an hour, worked my way up to $25 an hour. I got fired. Was trying to do real estate and had to make a decision, man, like bet on myself or go get a menial job again. But I didn't have any money, right, or credit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I kind of bumped into you initially. Like I'm on YouTube like, hey, how can I buy real estate with no money, no credit? That's how I kind of got into it.
That's how he started too.
Yeah,
He bought the book.
Yeah,
no
he
money.
learns quicker than me. I'm kind of hard-headed, so yeah. God made me stay down in the valley for quite some time until he, brought me up. So hey, I learned a lot of lessons. But yeah, man, since I found that, I've kind of had a meteoric rise, and there's a lot of real estate educators out there that were reading or listening to other people's results and then going and marketing like they could get people those results.
Yeah.
And so people, and you all probably know this, people got tired of paying for real estate courses or to learn because there was just so many frauds out there essentially. And so it became harder I made my first $1 million liquid with the Go-Getter family and challenges that I had and teaching people to buy subject to and creative financing. But that slowed down dramatically in like a 3-month span, dude. Went from $100,000 a month to our last month, it was like $11,000.
Damn.
Yeah. There was a point, man, I couldn't even pay my team, man. I had, I think, 7 or 8 people.
Dang.
And the hardest thing I ever did, man, one of the hardest was that morning on our Zoom call, tell my team that I couldn't pay them anymore, man.
Wow.
Oh,
That was super hard.
sucks.
Cordero was there. And
he's still here.
He's still here.
Right. And
Shout out to Cordero.
And he flies first class too, man.
Oh, okay.
Staying in a suite here in Vegas too, man. Anyway, so one of my team members though, because some of them were my students, and they have a 7-figure real estate portfolio, but they're on the team now. She says, I don't know about everybody else, but I made a commitment and I'm staying. I believe in Gene, And then it was like dominoes from there. Every other team member was like, I'm staying. I'm going to stay as long as I can. And that is really what triggered me to go full force into asset protection and estate planning, because we were already doing it, but I was kind of half in and half out because I'm like, I built this real estate system. Yeah. I know how hard it is to build like a system from nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really want to do it. I want to, and so that kind of forced me to do it. Like God will force you to do things. We have our plans and then there's God's plans. And so I dove in, man, and I've never been richer, honestly. Dang. Like I have never, my team makes great money. Like,
did it hurt your ego at all? We were talking about this earlier today.
Yeah, we were.
I think it was my ego that maybe made it so hard. I don't know, because I'm hard-headed, right? And so God has kept me in the valley for quite some time. And if your ego is something that's destroying you or hurting you, God will set you down, man. And he'll hit you harder and harder to sit you down because he can. And so I don't know if I have necessarily an ego anymore.
An old wise Mexican man said, your ego is not your amigo.
Hey, simple but deep, bro.
Yeah, it was deep,
simple but deep, man. Yeah, we're on the eye, brother. There you go. Yeah. You want to start a podcast?
What's
no, I'm just kidding.
I don't know what it said.
Ego? Your ego is not your amigo.
Ego
is not your amigo. I like it. No, that was deep, man. Simple.
That was deep.
Yeah.
Deep.
So that was in 2022?
That was 2024. That was 2024 that I had to tell my team that. And we went right into dove in full time with asset protection and estate planning. Now we've helped over 1,000 clients in that short time span, dude. Like we are the fastest growing asset protection and estate planning firm in the country.
So do you think your vehicle was just limiting you as an entrepreneur, or do you feel like you weren't as good as an entrepreneur back then? Because you said your business started to flop.
Both. I mean, we should get better every day, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we want to become better by at least 1% or something, a millimeter every day. So absolutely, like me and the vehicle, and like Bruce Lee said, man, be like water. Like find the path of least resistance, and that's what good entrepreneurs do. Mm-hmm. They solve problems at a high level. And once it clicked for me, or God forced me to do it, to go into asset protection and estate planning, everybody has that problem. Just like you found out today.
Yeah.
You got problems, brother.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you got problems, brother. And I don't say that lightly, man. You know what I mean? But
you got good questions.
Yeah.
Great questions.
Great questions. A lot of problems.
Boy, you asked some good ones.
Yeah. Now, the good thing is, right, you know Ryan, and now you know me.
Yeah,
so
It
seems like you got God's favor too, man.
Some trust work.
So that what I found out, though, was like people have these problems and don't know it.
Yeah.
until it becomes a problem,
Yeah.
right? And then it's kind of almost too late, depending on how far along you are in the problem.
Do you need like a license to sell trust and stuff like that?
You should be a lawyer, right?
Okay.
And I'm not
Okay.
at all. Okay, but I have lawyers that work for me that are on my team. Okay,
okay.
and
You're just the business owner.
yes, and the strategy
Maybe
behind
you own it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't own anything.
Yeah.
As you know, Chat said, or
Yeah.
whoever. I don't own anything. Right. I just control things. I'm an entrepreneur, control freak.
We're gonna put as his title at the company. He's not
Yeah.
founder.
Yeah.
He's just controller.
Yeah.
Right, controller. That's great. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. But here's the thing with attorneys, right? They are not taught these strategies unless it's super high level, man. There's two types out here. The one that Ryan dealt with, and that is, I would say, ultra high net worth attorneys that do this. Okay, no,
Okay.
really. And then the other type are the attorneys that have a Walmart suit or JCPenney suit, and they're selling living trusts for $2,000, $3,500, and they're just putting paperwork together, having you sign it and execute it, and then throwing you out there to the wolves. They'll name your trust for you, and they'll name it after you, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Those are the two types. We're filling the gap.
You know what I've seen a lot too, doing real estate deals where houses will be in a trust and then nobody can find the trust paperwork, and then it's like a huge problem.
Man, that is
That
a great
happens
point.
a
I'm so
lot.
tired of saying that about it.
Yeah.
That's a great point, though.
Because I actually do
It
real
really
estate.
is.
I told the last guy, so I'm an actual real estate investor, so I actually do deals.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So I've been at people's houses looking for trust paperwork.
Right.
And we're
Looking
just
at-
like, we're like,
looking in
bro,
cabinets.
You can't find it.
yeah, you can't find nothing.
Insane, dude. It's crazy.
How do people like not have that problem? Is there like a
with
website?
us, we
all
help them to store it,
digitized and
digitally, right? In a secure digital platform. You must do that. But the other thing is like Ryan, I don't know. I'm certain you're wise that you do this, but we need to be talking to our kids about this, right? The wealthy, they have like summer camps for how to be a good trustee. They have camps and classes for how to be a good beneficiary. We just don't know that.
Dang.
Well, we have a homeschool out there, so I'll put it on the
Yeah.
Dude,
Put on
I
the
mean,
curriculum.
Really, dude. How do you think the rich stay rich, man? Really, honestly. Like, how do you think that when Kennedy gets divorced, we don't hear about a fight over assets? We don't, right? But when a star, a rock star, or a rapper, they get divorced, they're like, who's getting the house? And they got this amount of money because they didn't know about this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's already protected, man. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel like it's my duty, bro, to get this information out to the people. So that way you can make an informed decision. And if you don't.
Those types of guys they're going to lose their money no matter what. It's going to happen in a divorce, spending, doing stupid crap. Like, if you're just not informed, you're going to lose it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I've been seeing all these basketball dudes on, they're like, bro, $100 million isn't what you think.
Oh my God.
I'm like, bro, you're a retard.
Crazy.
Like,
Crazy.
like literally, you're a great basketball player. But
Yeah.
you are literally really dumb.
Yeah.
Well, I would say ignorant, man, because they just didn't have like access, right? Financial literacy. You started a school, brother. That was for a reason.
Yeah.
I know for certain that they don't teach this information in school for a reason.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, do you got to really be taught don't blow $100 million? Like,
Bro, I can't tell you how many podcast clips I've seen recently. of these
I
guys.
see them
It
too.
is recent too.
And
I've seen some.
they're just popping up. I'm like, do you know how
Because
dumb
now they
you
have
are?
microphones and podcasts.
Yeah, I'm like,
so now
get a
you can
microphone
hear.
out of your mouth. Like, you just like sound so stupid.
Yeah, there's a sucker born
There's no
every day.
sympathy for you either.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Not one person feels bad for you.
It's a cold world out here.
yeah.
It was an OBJ, right? That was like, oh, yeah.
Dude, there's at least 10 of them I've seen.
Yeah. Complaining about being broke.
Yeah, bro.
That's tough, bro.
They take half, man.
Yeah.
So the moral
only
of the
had
story,
50.
the moral of the story is if you play in the NFL, NBA, or you're a rapper, tap that link, come talk to me and my team because that won't happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Do not be that guy.
They're getting charged way too many fees by management, by
saw that too.
agents.
Yeah.
Getting ripped off because they've never had anything, man, and they haven't had education on it. So you need to talk to somebody like me who's going to give you the real. And then if you want to make a decision, great. If you don't make a decision, guess what? That's a decision too, because you're deciding to let them wipe you down and finesse you.
Yeah.
And then end up in that podcast that Ryan's going to say, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how that story will go.
Yeah, it will go that way. I will tell them.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of athletes on. I've also talked to a lot behind the scenes guys who made a lot of money. But if they're reaching out to me, they're smart.
Smart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're watching this stuff. Like, they're
Exactly.
actively applying
Yes.
themselves
And
to
trying
learning.
to get more information.
Yeah. They know exactly what they're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And they play golf with me, so they're cool.
Yeah. So look. If Brian doesn't reach out to me,
Yeah.
we can't.
We know what he is.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying, man.
Good question asker. Great, as chat said, a content creator.
Right. Well, did he say like a okay or
I'm a fellow.
Yeah.
not a very well known content?
Yeah, he's like a small time creator.
I don't want to be known. I don't want to be known.
Well, now you don't.
No, I don't.
I want to be known, man.
Yeah.
'Cause
I want to be known for having nothing.
Yeah, I want to be broke. Yeah, I'm broke.
Yep. All right. Hey, well, one more time, dude. Where can people find and start working with you guys again? Just so we know, it'll be in the description below. But for those who can't see that,
So you can go to any social media and go to the Go Getter Family, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and then thegogetterfamily.com. The word the, THE, and then GOGETTERFAMILY.com.
there we go, guys. Go check it out. And if you like this episode, you want to see more episodes like this, make sure you subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.